brain to real leadership to being able to hold yourself. Good morning, Regina. To being able to hold yourself personally accountable. So there's this nice little picture and it all fits together. So you have your brain, you have your real leader toolkit, and now you can go forth. Good morning. You have your toolkit, and now you can go forth and be prosperous in your day, because the goal of holding yourself personally accountable is to have your best day every day, a day that you will never, ever, 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 ever receive again. So make sure that you have your second device, you have your note-taking materials, and you are on the turnarounddoctor.com, and you are on the tab or the page, the 74 Principles of Real Leadership. Yesterday we went over realistic. Today we will be going over effective. As I mentioned, real in pink are acronyms. Real stands for realistic, effective, authentic, leader-led, and pink stands for powerful, innovative, natural, knowledgeable. And under those 8 sections of the books, that's where the 74 Principles of Real Leadership reside. Okay. With that being said, effective. The goal in effective leadership is to become well equipped so that you minimize or eliminate your ineffective moments. One of the things that I learned while I was in the military is being effective and the benefits of being effective. There are plenty of people who are in positions of power and authority who are not leaders and who are not very effective. Sometimes they're surrounded by people who make them look more effective than they actually are. But when you look at people and take them on by themselves without the totality of their people, they are not effective. And the more people that they have around them insulating them, the less effective that they are. So they have a person that does everything for them, to include sometimes think. And what happens neurologically when you do that is your working memory atrophies. As we know, at the age of 35, you get your frontal lobe at 25. By 35, your working memory, which is what you use day in and day out, starts to deteriorate. And by the time you get 65, that bad boy is unemployed and is sitting somewhere chilling, watching The Price is Right, eating butterscotch. So being effective means that you are using your brain day in and day out. That means you're using it until the day after you're no longer here, or some type of injury occurs and you don't have full cognition of your mind. You use your brain every single day. Every single day. And every single day you can be effective. When you delegate out all of your growth opportunities and you give them to other people because you have so much more important things to do, you're ineffective. When I was at Frito-Lay, I was a zone operations manager, and I was getting ready to leave Michigan and go to Alabama. And I was talking to the fleet manager one day, and I was talking about the RVPs, the region vice presidents. And I said, man, they have an important job. You know, they're the region vice presidents. And he said, no, they don't. He said they don't do anything. Everybody else does all the work, and they just go to headquarters once a month. They just have to stay healthy, and they're figureheads. So he said, but at that time, Nader was the RVP. He said, what does he really do every day? People send him reports, but what does he actually do? He doesn't actually do anything. Things come up, and then decisions are made, and the decisions go back out. But his day in and day out, if everything is running smoothly, he doesn't do anything anymore. So the objective is go get in those positions and sit there and have all of these other people, these direct reports, do all of these things. And I thought about it, and every time we used to have to do BPP, best business practices, so our plan for next year, we'd have to present everything to the RVPs. They would then say, well, what about this? And what about that? And what about this and that? And then that was it. They'd come on a couple plant tours when I was in the plant, and that was it. So how effective are they? So the perception is, because of this title, that they're extremely effective. We've been to appointments where VPs and owners and CEOs are on the phone, and everybody else is doing the work. So I challenge you, if you are in one of those positions, how effective are you? Yes, you have people, I've had direct reports that you have to be responsible for, but what is it that you're doing to be effective? Because your brain needs you to give it information and continue to have a strong working memory, because that's not going to help. I forgot. Let me just ask somebody else. Let me just have somebody ask somebody else. It's like, oh, but they're making big decisions. How are you going to make a big decision with an atrophied working memory? How is that going to happen? It can't, because you haven't put new information in. And if you just take something in, read it, and you're not objective, you're just going to say, oh, well, tell me what I should do. And then the next thing you know, that's how we end up with all of the things that we experience, because people in positions of power and authority are not using their working memory and becoming more effective. So doesn't matter what your title is, doesn't matter how many people you have working with and for you, you as an individual person, an adult,